The NBA trade deadline literally ended today. I'm going into NBA 2K22 showing you all the biggest trades of every single NBA team on the roster, and then the roster update is going to upload tomorrow. So let me show you all what we're going to be seeing. Get pasa to the pack. It's Pack here. Before the video starts, please be an OG, join the pack and subscribe, and leave a like on the video so the video can grow. We're starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers. This is probably the biggest one. James Harden is traded for Ben Simmons. Now, this is only an absolute positive for the Sixers. You had no one on this team because Ben Simmons was not playing, right? So all you've done is added talent onto an already pretty decent playoff team. Now they're looking like a contender because they didn't lose Tobias Harris and they didn't lose Matisse or Tyrese Maxey. You keep an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid. You add James freaking Harden, right, with Tobias Harris. I mean, this is a good team. This is automatically, immediately a contender. Absolutely. Two superstars with a good defensive team is a formula for success. Absolutely. And you still keep Shake Milton, Danny Green, Korkmaz. You add Paul Millsap to the team. I don't know if he's going to play, but you have enough talent to win a championship here. Starting lineup of Harden, Maxey. You might flip these. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But Maxey, Harden, Thibault, Harris, and Embiid is going to be absolutely disgusting. I think a massive A+ grade for the Sixers. Now, the Bucks get rid of Dante DiVincenzo and add Serge Ibaka. Now, whether or not this is going to be helpful, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Ibaka's having a weird season, but he was on the Clippers who weren't going to go during the playoffs this season. Now you add Ibaka, and now you're at least able to, I don't know, at least he's able to play like on an important team, right? We'll see what happens. Now, if I don't mention a team, there was no important trade like the Bulls, so I'm just letting you know that now. If I skip a team, that's why. Now, what I want to talk about is Caris LeVert. This is a little while ago, but Caris LeVert was traded from the Pacers to the Cavs. This is awesome because the Cavs are already stacked and like playing well, but now you add a 20-point per game score onto the team and you're only going to succeed more. He's basically replacing what Colin Sexton was supposed to be this season onto the team. That's all he's technically doing, which is awesome for the Cavs. That's a W. Now, the Celtics, they get rid of Josh Richardson and Dennis Schroeder, and now they add Derek White, my boy from the Spurs, who, even though is having not the greatest season, he's still averaging around 15 points. The efficiency is not great, but he's a great defender. So because he's an amazing defender and he can at least score a little bit, I think it's only a positive pickup for the Celtics compared to what they were having before, right? They also add PJ Dozier, so and Daniel Tice returns to the team. So a couple good pickups to the team. I don't know if this is enough to get them to where they want to be, but it's a good start. The Clippers, you already know, have Norman Powell added to the team. Now this team is injured because they have no Kawhi or Paul George, but now they have Norman Powell. When everyone's healthy, this is going to be a very, very solid team. When everyone's healthy. The Hornets do something that's kind of under the radar. They add Montrezl Harrell to the team. Now, Montrezl Harrell hasn't necessarily been having a great season. He has good games, but he hasn't been having a good season. At the end of the day, even though you already have, I mean, you could put either Plumlee or you could put PJ Washington at center, you have Montrezl Harrell who can at least put up the stats offensively. Now, he's not a good defensive, at least I don't think he's a necessarily great defending center. He can rebound really well and score in the paint, no problem. So it's only a positive add for the Hornets, just to be completely honest. The Kings, you already know about this one. Sabonis has been added to the team that was traded for Tyrese Halliburton. This was a massive mistake for the Kings. Now, I could be wrong. This could age poorly. Tyrese Maxey was your only young star future player. And to let him go for someone who's 25, who's an all-star. Sabonis is an all-star, right? So there's no doubt about that. We know he can average 20, 12, and 7 on great efficiency. Like, we know what he can do. He wasn't 20 years old. He's 25. But again, I mean, if you are hoping De'Aaron Fox is only going to get better, he's only 23. Harrison Barnes isn't bad. Rashawn Holmes is solid. And you get maybe a good pick, and you pick up Dante DiVincenzo, who's solid. Like, you can maybe do something. And I guess this is the Kings' mindset of, let's just make a final push for the play-in game. And I can see why they're doing it. I just feel like you don't let go of a future piece like that. You don't do that. The Dallas Mavericks, man, I'm going to roast them for a little bit. I don't know what they were thinking, but they let go of Porzingis, their number 2 option, who's good when healthy. They let him go for Spencer Dinwiddie, who's been having an atrocious season. And they already have a guard that can do better what Spencer Dinwiddie could wish to do, right? So that's already a mistake. And they get Davis Bertans, who's stupid expensive and has been terrible. So I have zero clue what the mindset of the Mavericks was, but this is an L because now when you look at this team without Porzingis, this is not a team that can win a championship. Not with just Luka by himself. This is a terrible idea. With the Brooklyn Nets, so very controversial thing. I'm going to try to defend the Nets here, but let's explain what happened. So You have Kevin Durant on the team when healthy is the best player on the team. Kyrie Irving, who can only play half the games. Ben Simmons has been added onto the team. Now, Ben Simmons has not played basketball this season because of the Sixers, because he felt that they were disrespecting him. So now he's on the team that he feels being respected with. We'll go to him in a second. You add Andre Drummond, who's a great backup center. He might be the starter, though, to be honest. Seth Curry, who we know can ball, who we know he's one of the best shooters in the NBA. You still have LaMarcus. You have Patty Mills, which is awesome. You have Joe Harris. So the Nets let go of, which is a number 2 star, and James Harden, who's consistent, unlike Kyrie, who cannot consistently play. You add a Ben Simmons, who's at least a defender and an athletic slasher. You could see it that way, right? So when you put it that way, I mean, it's still not great, but you sacrifice that for depth. That was the big thing. The Nets' depth was trash. And now you add Andre Drummond, who's a center that we know can do well. Seth Curry, who's one of the best scorers in the league, at least shooting-wise. You sacrificed it for depth, and honestly, that may be worth it. Again, you're adding Ben Simmons, and who knows how good he's going to be. I couldn't tell you. For all we know, he's been grinding for a jump shot in the summer or this whole time, and he's been a good shooter. But, like, I don't know. It's a risk, but it might work out. We'll have to wait and see. The big thing, though, for James Harden is that he left because he saw this team and was like, if it's not going to be consistent with Kyrie coming only half the games, like, you go to a consistent team like the Sixers and hope that you can win a championship. And I don't blame that, to be honest. The Pacers get Tyrese Halliburton for free, which is hilarious to me. And this team, and they trade Sabonis out. So now you're just hoping that Turner, Brogdon, and Tyrese ball out. And when Warren comes back, plays well. You just hope that's the case. And you have Buddy Hield too. It's kind of just a rebuild mode and hope everyone plays well in the future, maybe. Pelicans get CJ McCollum. When everyone's healthy, that is a W, because now you have 384 overalls to help Zion Williamson. That's a massive W for the Pelicans. Super underrated move. And you get Larry Nance Jr. as a backup. And you still have Devontae Graham, Herbert Jones, Jackson Hayes, William Gomez. Not a bad move for the Pelicans at all. The Rockets get Schroeder, and honestly, no one really cares about that specifically, to be honest with you. The Spurs get Josh Richardson and a bunch of draft picks and Goran Dragic, who they're going to just buy out. So, not really like great moves. The thing about them is that they're just focusing on their all-star right here with DeJounte Murray. You have Keldon Johnson, who's going to be good. Jakob Poeltl's been having a fantastic season. Vassell's looking really solid. Josh Richardson's a good 3-and-D player, like, no doubt. This isn't a move that's going to guarantee him a play-in spot, but it's a move to look forward to in the future. That's kind of the mindset of this. They get a bunch of draft picks. You go for it. The Blazers get Josh Hart from the Pels, who's been having a good season. And what they're claiming is that this is supposed to rebuild around Damian Lillard, with Nurkic, who's been having a good season. Josh Hart has been having a good season. And Simons, who's been having a fantastic season. You're hoping that this is enough to build around Dame, but I honestly don't think it's smart. I think you just build around Simons now and trade Dame. That's what they should have done, but whatever. And the last team, which is a pretty big one, is the Wizards. So the Wizards saw their situation. They were in free fall, and they're realizing that they weren't going to make even the playing game anymore. And they were like, you know what? Let's make a change. And they get Porzingis, and now you have 2 players that can lead you there, with Kyle Kuzma, who's been having a good season, Daniel Gafford, who's solid, Thomas Bryant. Like, this is a W move for the Wizards. W move. You let go of Spencer Dinwiddie, who's been having an awful season, and Montrezl Harrell, who's been having an season, and you add Porzingis for it. That's a W for the Wizards. Massive, massive W. Both guys are in their prime, and you can have this for a while. This is a pretty good move by them, to be honest. What do you guys think about all these trades? Leave it in the comments below. If you like the channel, please give it a sub, and I'll see you guys next time.